Okay, so developing gifts. There may be times where when you're new to spirituality, when all that stuff starts to happen, right? Newly awakened, or however you want to describe it, the universe can pummel you with signs and all kinds of things, and to make a point that yes, it's real. We're confirming it 6,000 times with the angel numbers and the signs and the butterflies and dragonflies and all kinds of things like that. You might have a lot of activity at first to get you to realize that this is real, okay? After a period of time, after you've been taught some things, you've gone through some confirmations, you've asked for, please confirm this, they're going to have you move past the signs onto the work, okay? God's going to get a little quieter. Everyone's going to get a little quieter. You're going to have to work for it a little more. It's going to get a little more subtle, okay? That's just the way it works. You're going to have to reach for it a little more and do some work. So, it's like, you know, anything else when you first start anything. You know, you start school, you start a new job, you start whatever it is. People are they're gonna assist, they're gonna help, I'm here, whatever you need, I'm gonna, you know, and you go through this, you know, beginning point. After a while, they're gonna start to expect you to do stuff on your own, start to kind of take the wheel here. And same thing with spirituality. It starts off very butterflies and sparkles and all these signs and all these things, and I'm hearing or seeing or feeling or knowing, whatever, you know, however it comes through. What they even will do, a couple of different things, is if you are not focused on your physical life, like improving it, if you need to make money, if you need to work on your health, you need to whatever, they may go quiet so that you work on this, because you can't be that out of balance, okay? So like spiritual people may take a few days off of social media if they're content creators or something like that, to kind of work on themselves, work on their own stuff, just to stay in balance. Like this needs more attention, or that needs more attention, you know, family or friends, or money, or whatever the case, right? Those are some ways that you can end up, you know, staying in balance. Is, you know, if you're like too much spiritual and ignoring your financial life or your physical life, they may go quiet. You got to fix this, okay? Or vice versa, you know. But it can start off really strong in the beginning, and then they'll kind of trail off and say, well, we've taught you some things, we want you to use them. Also, what they do is, you know, like it's when you get in your power, where you used to be very dependent on God, very dependent on Jesus, dependent on angels, or, you know, and counting on them for things, they may go quiet, because it's like, we've trained you how to do this stuff. We've taught you, lots of people have taught you, or, you know, you've done your studies, you've done your research, you know how to do this. Now we're going to pull the training wheels off, and we're going to see if you can ride this thing. And we're here, we're going to help you. If you get off balance, if you know, we're going to help you. But sometimes they'll go quiet, okay? Because now it's like, you know, are you going to do the spiritual maintenance? Are you going to meditate every day to connect with guides? Are you going to practice how to do that? You know, if you have trouble connecting with guides. Also, if you have ear ringing, that is, you know, other than tinnitus, you just listen to really loud music. Don't do that, but actual tinnitus. But what the ringing is your guides are adjusting your frequency, okay, to match theirs. You have to be within a range to get downloads of information. You can get a download, meaning that if you can't connect telepathically in real time, they will give you a download. They'll drop a download where you will then, once you hit that frequency again, as in when you are relaxed, your body is at a certain frequency, that download's going to hit you, okay? So don't feel like you're going to miss information, you're going to miss out on, you know, the message or anything like that. That literally can't happen. You'll get it in your sleep, you'll get it in meditation, you'll get it, you know, in different ways as soon as you hit that frequency again, okay? So if you can't telepathically in real time connect, they will leave you with this, you know, bulk of information that you're going about your day and you're like, oh, my ear is ringing. They give you the information and they download into your subconscious, and then you go about your day, and the second you feel relaxed, you're gonna be like, oh, that's weird, I have this, you know, aha moment or something, you know, or answer to something, or solution, you know, to one part of your life or whatever. So it can look like that. And then what you can do is, so it's like a radio dial. So if you're hearing the ringing, it's like they're saying, little higher, yeah, a little higher, little, you know, they're adjusting your personal frequency. They do that, guides do that. I've had that happen in the middle of like the eye doctor once, where they really, you know, I was in the middle of an appointment, and the doctor had stepped out, and just a checkup, and she had stepped out, and all of a sudden my heart started palpitating like crazy. No anxiety. This is not tied to actual anxiety, although when people connect sometimes or with spirit, they can feel anxious. That's mediumship. That's part of it. It can present at first like anxiety, or like a little bit of panic, but this adjusting your frequency wouldn't be attached to any anxiety at all. It would just randomly, your heart just starts kind of all over the place, and then and because I've had this happen so many times, I know what it is specifically. So I'm laying there by myself on the very comfortable chair, and you know, it was like one of those, like, you get to chill out and the lights are dim, and so probably why, like, it's go time. And so I just kind of looked up and went, now I'm at the doctor's office. And so my vitals start going nuts again. Not health issue, this is something totally different that I was in communication at the time, you know. And I'm like, now? I said, she's gonna come in here and think like, you know, my body is going crazy. And so she came in, she goes, are you okay? And I said, I'm totally fine, I am good, I am ship shape. She's like, let me take your blood pressure. And I'm thinking, please don't, because it's gonna look like a medical condition. She took my blood pressure and went, your blood pressure is really high. And I said, yeah, I know. I said, and I'm really totally fine, I promise you. I'm not just saying that, like, I know I'm fine. And this is not, please don't dismiss medical conditions. That's not where this is going, okay? This is something totally separate that you're in tune, and you have been, and you know about it, you know. So I could hear them at the same time that this was happening. All of a sudden we needed to be in communication, and because there were things about her, and it's a long story. So I ended up getting this while I was there. Your blood pressure is high and you feel really warm. And I said, yeah, it's totally okay, I promise, it's really all right. So I said, it'll go down. And she's like, okay, if you think so. You don't want me to call rescue? I'm like, I said, no, and give me like 10 minutes, it'll totally, it's going to affect your body as far as spiritual stuff. You know, they're going to, you know, I felt the second they started cranking me up, and I'm like, really? Like, she's gonna come back in and, you know, see, I'm like cranked up all over the place. So yeah, they'll do that, they'll adjust, you know. And I had been through it enough times to know what it was, separate from health conditions, okay? Please just don't dismiss it as everything spiritual if there's something going on. Anyway, we have to say, you know, things like this, obviously. So what another thing they might do is shut off one gift for another. So if, for example, you can see really well, or you could hear really well, or you could feel like you were more connected, and then all of a sudden things are kind of quiet, well, one of two things: you're either down too low vibrationally and you've disconnected yourself. So if you feel low, you have to vibe back up within the range, right? And you should anyway, because there's nothing good in lower frequency, you know, timelines. But they can, what it can look like when I was, you know, first they were working with me in all kinds of ways, my guides and such, they would shut off one gift for another. So for a time I wouldn't be able to see, but I would hear everything. And whatever other sense they're developing will get super strong. So there was another time where they shut stuff off and they were developing sense of smell. I felt like a wolf for like months. I could, there was a coffee shop a mile away. I could smell the coffee in the coffee shop. I'm like, I'm a fucking wolf right now. Like, I can smell that coffee. But it all comes back and it all balances out, but it's for the sake of, like, you know, for a period of time, everything might feel really loud, and we're hypersensitive to that stuff anyway. But when they were developing this, you know, hearing, everything was so loud. So now they'll work with all of that. But if they pull back, that's when you step forward and you do the work and you do the practice and you do, okay, what did they teach me? Because if I'm not hearing, there's something God wants me to work on. So let me work on, like, the last thing I learned about, the last thing I heard about, or the bulk of stuff I feel like I'm supposed to be doing. Let me do that everyday practice, everyday meditation. If you're trying to connect with guides, you need to do meditation every day, actual meditation, okay? not this message isn't for everybody, just for the ones that need that. So hope it helps.